Let's see how the RTX 4060 performs in Ghost of Tsushima at 1080p, 1440p and 4K. How far can the little guy go? I've paired it with Ryzen 5 7600X. Full specifications are on the screen now, and if you're interested in building this PC, then you'll find the links to all the PC parts listed in the description below. Let's start at 1080p resolution, native, so no upscaling, no frame generation. But we'll check those NVIDIA features later on in the video. Graphic settings are set to very high preset. The only reason it says custom is because I've disabled depth of field, because it makes the picture look blurry and I don't like that. Furthermore, I've increased field of view to the maximum. Ooh, take a look at this performance. We are indeed getting proper 60 FPS experience with just a few dips below 60. Memory usage is at around 7 GB. This is pretty good. 57 just then. The frame time graph looks okay. No issues there. And even 1% lows are at 56 FPS. It's pretty good. It looks like game developers were optimizing this game with the RTX 4060 in mind. Is that our enemies? Yes, indeed. Let's fight. Can we take him? Can I take him? Come on. Oh, no. I missed that shot. Oh. Tough guy. Oh, no. They finished me off. Oh, I've played this game for about 5 hours already, and that was my first death. I just forgot that I was low on HP. And to be fair, I'm not wearing a proper armor. This is just traveler's attire. Anyhow, the performance was pretty good, so that just shows that you can have a great time using the RTX 4060 in Ghost of Tsushima at native 1080p. Now let's see if we can make that experience even better by enabling frame generation. I'm going to use NVIDIA's frame generation, but you can also use AMD's FSR 3. That's pretty cool. Will we have enough memory to actually make it work? It doesn't look like it. Interesting. We're not getting more FPS. I was expecting to see at least plus 10 FPS, and we are not getting that. Let's fight. The archer must go first. Oh. I know some moves. Come here. And then you. Come on. Oh, the archer. Get some. And then you. Last. Yes. Love this game. So there you have it. I don't think using frame generation is worth it in this game. It appears that we don't have enough video memory to achieve that. Let's do a quick comparison, frame generation versus no frame generation. So at the moment we have frame generation enabled, and VRAM is at around 7 GB. DRAM is close to 15 GB, and the FPS is 62 average. Now let's go ahead and disable frame generation. Frame rate is only 3 FPS lower. That is concerning because it should not be like that. We should get at least 10 FPS more, not 3 FPS more when we enable frame generation. And take a look at that. VRAM is still at around 7 GB usage. However, DRAM is lower than 14 now. That's what I'm talking about. Graphics assets that are supposed to be in video memory are moved into DDR memory, and that affects performance, as you have seen just now. Frame generation, which is one of the main selling points of the RTX 40 series cards, is not doing that good of a job in this particular game, and this is not the first time I'm seeing this. It's just another reminder that 8 GB of memory is not enough in 2024 and that Nvidia really needs to give us more video memory in future graphics cards. But at least native performance is good enough so that we don't have to use frame generation. Although it would have been very pleasant if we could get something like 80 or 90 FPS by using frame generation. That's what we pay for with Nvidia graphics cards, no? Let me know what do you think about this in the comments below. Are you okay paying for a graphics card that can't even use one of its main features in modern games? I certainly cannot recommend doing such a thing. And the last thing left to do is test DLSS. Let's set it to quality and have a look at the performance. Frame generation stays off. And this is the feature that is usable and very much welcome. Take a look at the performance. We are now getting consistently well above 60 FPS, so that right there is a guarantee that no matter what scene we're in, we are most likely not dropping below 60 FPS. And the game developers will probably optimize the game further. That's what they did with Horizon Forbidden West, which is another Sony game that was ported by Nixon, so I do expect that to happen. Next up is 1440p native resolution. We're still using very high graphics preset. And the performance is decent. We're getting well above 30 FPS, and while I personally do not like playing my games like this, some of you may find it acceptable, so there you go, above 30 FPS experience even at native 1440p. Although, as mentioned previously, we are running into issues with video memory overloading. We now have close to 15 gigabytes in DRAM. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. And the gameplay doesn't feel as smooth as a result of that. But let's try to make it a little bit more playable by enabling DLSS. Let's set it to quality and take a look at the performance. Yes, this is better. 50 plus FPS. Actually, this experience right here is pretty good. I would not hesitate to play the game like this, and at 1440p, DLSS set to quality looks pretty good. With a little bit of work on optimizing that VRAM usage, we may see a very pleasant experience from the 4060 at 1440p. Of course, that is after future game patches. And here's an example of inconsistencies. I've just reloaded the game and take a look at what happened. We're still at 1440p. Oh, just a little stutter there. We're still at 1440p. DLSS is set to quality, frame generation disabled, and the performance is now above 60 FPS. And VRAM usage is a little bit higher, 7.6 gigabytes, and now we are back to something like 50, 56. So yeah, that performance inconsistency is because of that VRAM limitation. 8 gigabytes is not enough, and that's why that happens. It just shows you that we could have had a consistent 60 plus FPS experience even at 1440p if this graphics card had something like 10 or maybe 12 gigabytes of memory, but no, it only has 8. Let's throw frame generation into the mix. Will it work or will it fail? And yet another disappointment, we are not even getting more FPS with frame generation. This is very, very disappointing, Nvidia. I'm looking at you. This is a real shame, because the RTX 4060 could have been a pretty good 1440p gaming card. But it is what it is. Let's move on to 4K. Let's start with native, so no upscaling, no frame generation. Now let's select high graphics preset just to give it a little bit more of a chance at 4K. The FPS is at 30, so this right here is proper old school console performance, Xbox 360 experience. Frame time graph is not that smooth, so yeah, this is not even smooth 30 FPS, this is stuttery 30 FPS. That's horrible. Feels horrible. Can we make it playable by enabling DLSS? Let's go straight for performance mode. That means that we are upscaling from 1080p all the way to 4K. And this actually appears to be working as intended. Take a look at that. Close to 7 GB VRAM usage and DRAM is close to 14. That is close to what we've seen at native 1080p, so that's good. And the FPS is actually quite high, take a look at that. 60 plus. Although we are not on very high preset anymore, this is high preset. The game still looks good. I mean, it looks much better than at native 1080p on very high preset. I definitely would play this game like this if I had the RTX 4060 and I had the choice between a 4K and a 1080p monitor. I would definitely choose this experience right here. Heck, can we even match it? Let's select very high graphics preset, disable depth of field, just to be fair. We had that disabled when we were testing 1080p. And take a look at that. 40 plus FPS. There are some stutters happening. So in terms of stability, this performance is not great because take a look, there's stutters here and there. That's because we are running out of video memory. I guess we will come across even worse performance issues if we keep playing for long enough. But can we make it better by going for ultra performance? Let's see. So that's 720p upscaled to 4K. Oh. Oh, VRAM usage has dropped dramatically. Yes, and the performance is pretty good. And to be honest with you, the game doesn't look that bad. Yes, we've lost quite a bit of that fine detail, but damn. Looking at this on a 4K screen, it feels good. You know what? If I owned an RTX 4060, I would definitely play this game like this on a 4K screen. This experience right here is better than a 1080p native. Yeah. Interesting how that is. That just shows that owning a low-resolution monitor in 2024 is kind of counterproductive. With these upscaling technologies, we are getting much better performance and much better experience when we use high-resolution monitors. I've made up my mind. This is my favorite setting. Very high preset, 4K resolution, DLSS set to ultra performance, but don't bother enabling frame generation as long as you are on an 8 GB graphics card, because that will just mess up your experience. Keep that frame generation off and you'll have a good time. Take a look at that. 60 plus FPS, 4K resolution, of course upscaled, on the RTX 4060. Amazing. In conclusion, we were able to have a good time using the RTX 4060 in Ghost of Tsushima at 1080p native, at 1440p with DLSS set to quality, and at 4K resolution with DLSS set to ultra performance. And out of all three, my favorite experience was at 4K with DLSS set to ultra performance. The image is just much better and the experience is pleasant. This is it right here. Nice and smooth, pleasant to play. However, I was quite disappointed with the RTX 4060 in general because it cannot use frame generation even at 1080p. It runs out of memory, and as a result you are not getting more FPS in the game, you're just getting a stuttery experience. The game itself is amazing. I highly recommend it if you haven't tried it yet. It is awesome. Feudal Japan, combat is awesome, and I really enjoy the lore as well. This is one of the few games where I actually read notes as well as other entries, like this one right here. There's some facts about a dog breed. Yeah, it's just awesome. If you're interested in any of the products featured in this video, then you can find them on Amazon at the links in the description below. And don't forget to give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments below, what do you think about all this? Especially, what do you think about the fact that the new RTX 4060 graphics cards cannot use frame generation in the newest games, even at 1080p resolution? Subscribe for more videos like this if you haven't already. It was I, Vadim. Until next time.